Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's video I'm going to be showing you how to draft this trendy blouse. So I already have my bodice, my front bodice drafted with a pencil on a brown paper. So this is the shoulder. I have on the shoulder I have the length of the blouse, I have the bust point, the underbust, the chest line. They are all drafted on the brown paper already with a pencil. So all I'm going to be doing on this video is to bring out the lines with a marker pen. And I'll be repeating as the chest line, the bust point, the underbust, the waistline, and also the blouse length, that is BL, or you can call it the full length. So if you understand how I do take my darts, so this is my dart on the waistline, on the underbust. If you don't understand how to take my dart, you could just refer to the video on the link attached to this video and you see how I took my dart. So but on this video I'm not going to be explaining that. So the next thing is just to start marking out all the lines. So I've gone ahead to mark all the vertical lines, the chest line, bust point, under bust, and to the blouse length, and that is the distance for the dart. So I'm just ensuring that the distance for the dart I took is 4 inch. You can take any dart that it is for you. You know, everybody's different. So you could have 5 inch, you could have 5.5. So that is the distance for the dart that I needed to mark out. And then you come down from your dart by 6 or 5 inches. Remember, the dart that you are taking, it's not to the end of the blouse, and then you come down on that part by 1 inches. So just take note. From the waistline you come down by 6, and from the bust point you come down by 1, and then you connect these lines together. I just had to repeat this for the purpose of those who are just learning this for the first time, and then you connect them together. So the next thing for us is just to mark out our armhole, the line on our armhole. So you take your ruler and then you mark out the lines on it. That's the shoulder slope. Remember to always come down by 1 from your shoulder mark, and then I mark it out for it to be visible for you. So the next thing is to connect the mid part of our shoulder slope to the bust point. So the next thing for us to do is to start placing out all our circumference, our bust circumference, our waist circumference, and also our hip circumference. The hip circumference has to be on that part, the full length, the blouse length. So place your bust circumference divided by 4, on your waist circumference divided by 4, and then your hip circumference divided by 4. You place it on this part, and then you connect all the lines together. You might be wondering, what about the underbust? For now, you're not going to be marking the underbust, so I'm just going to show you how to get your underbust after doing this. And so you divide your underbust circumference by 4, and whatever you get, you place it on that part, divide it by 4 and place it on that part. So whatever you get after that, you could get 1.5 or 1.25 or 0.75. So whatever you get on that part, you would then split it into 2. You split it into 2. The smallest part should be placed on the part going to the center front, and the biggest part should be placed on the part going to the side front. So I'm going to repeat this over again. After I divided, my mind was almost 1, so I had to wrap it to 1. It was 1.9. I had to wrap it to 1, and then the smallest part on the tip rule for the 1, I had to place it on the part going to the center front, and the biggest part you place it on the part going to the side front. So it's not difficult. Whatever you get, either is 1 point, whatever you get, just place the smallest part on the tip rule going to the center front, and on the biggest part going to the side front, and then you connect these lines together as I've done so. And I'll be repeating this again just for it to be visible on the with the marker. You can see I've marked it with the marker, and I'll be repeating the same thing on the other side. And after you've connected that to the bust point, and then you connect it to the dart leg. So the next thing for us to do is to get this shape. So it all depends on how deep you want it to be on the center front, or how high you want it to be on the side. So for me, I'm going to be coming down by 5, so you can come down by 4, and on this part I'll be coming down by 2 inch. So it all depends on how long you want it to be, or how high you want it to be on the side. So I'll connect the 2 to the 5 on this part with my marker pen. So the next thing, I'm going to be coming down by my waist, from the waist. I'm going to be coming down from the waist by 5. So it all depends on your preference. You can come down by 4, you can come down by 3.5. So for me, for this video, I'm going to be coming down by 5 on my waistline, and then go in by 2 on that part and connect the lines together. That is to give that V, the opening on the front of the blouse on this video, to give that opening. So it's not difficult. You come down by 5 on your waistline, and then you go in by 2 on the slant line and connect the lines together. And after doing that, so we're going to be cutting through the lines. So take out all your tape or whatever pin you're using to hold your pattern paper, and then cut all through the lines. So I'm going to be cutting through right now. So to tighten our shoulder, remember, I always go in by 0.25 on the tape rule. That is to tighten our shoulder. Go in by 0.25, and then you connect the lines to meet the shoulder slope. So I'm done with cutting, and the next thing for us to do right now is to work on the back pattern. So for the back pattern, all you have to do is to take your shoulder measurement and your zip allowance and connect all the lines together. So this is me. I went in by 1 inch for my zip allowance, and then I'll be taking all my measurements. So the first we're going to do here is to take our shoulder measurement, and also take the depth of your neck, but that's not the depth I'm going to be working with. This is just to guide your shoulder slope, and then connect all the lines together. Remember, I mentioned that's just a guide. So I want the back of this blouse to be very deep, so I'm going to be coming down by 5 or 6 inches, depends on what you want. So you can make your own not so deep as mine, but I just want this particular blouse to be deep. And so the next thing is for us to start taking in all our vertical measurements. So please ensure you do that by marking your bust points. It's just a guide. You're just needing it for a guide, and then your waistline and then the blouse length. So the next thing is to go in by 0.5 on your waistline from the zipper line. Go in by 0.5 and connect the line to the full length, and also to the parts where the neckline stopped. You connect the lines like so. After connecting the lines, then you start taking your original zip allowance from that line you connected. Please take your original zip allowance from the line you connected. So I'm just going to use my marker pen to bring out all these lines together that I have drawn on the pattern paper, so it will be visible to you all. So the next thing for us to do is to start creating our dot line. So I'm going to be going by 4 on my dot line and connecting all the lines together. So once you're done connecting the lines together, and then you create your dart leg. To create your dart leg, you connect all the lines together from the bust point to the waistline and also to the full length. You connect all these lines together, and then you go in on both sides by 0.5, and then you come down on this part like we did by 5 on the front. If you remember, on the front of the blouse we came down by 5 on the waistline, so that's what you are going to do, and then you connect this to create your dart leg. So after doing that, the next thing is for us to start putting in all our vertical measurements. So the first thing you're going to do is to place your bust measurements on your bust line, your waist measurement divided by 4, and your hip measurements divided by 4. So you're going to place your hip measurements on the full length divided by 4 and connect all those lines together. All your measurements should be divided by 4 and connect them together. So I'm just going to be using my marker pen to mark this out, so it will be very visible for you all to see. And after doing that, the next thing for us is to then come down by 5 like we did on the side. Come down by 5 and connect it to meet the dart leg. Come down by 5 and connect it to meet the dart leg. You could decide to come down whatever amount you came down on the front bodice. Please do the same for the back, and then you connect it to meet the dart leg. This is for the back. And the next thing for us is to now create our armhole measurements. Remember our chest line. So this is me marking my chest line. I already know what my chest line is. So you create and mark your you create the lines and then mark your chest line by connecting these lines together to meet the your bust measurements. Your bust measurement is what you would use to create your chest line. Remember, your on the back bodies, you won't be going in by 0.5 when you divide your armhole by 2. For the back bodies, you won't be going in by 0.5. All you have to do is to connect it to meet your bust line on that part. So that is me. I've done that, and I hope you understand this very, very well. And the next thing is for us to tighten our neck, that part that I mentioned on the front bodies. You go in by 0.25. This is to tighten your neck nip. Okay, so it's called neck nip on your blouse. This is to tighten it so that it would not be gaping on that part, on the nip of your blouse. You would not be gaping, or the nip of whatever you are sewing. It's essential you always do that. So I've connected my shoulder, the mid of my shoulder to the bust point, and then I'm just going to be cutting through. So I'm done cutting for the back. So I'm just going to cut out the armhole and then take out the darts. If you remember, we have a dart on the back bodies. We have a dart. So this is me placing them side by side. So I'm going to be placing the front piece. We have two pieces for for the back, and also we have 2 pieces for the front. So I'm cutting out the dart, and that will be the end of this video. So if you are just visiting my channel for the very first time, please do wait to subscribe, like, comment, and also if you have any question, do not hesitate to drop it on the comment section, and also hit on the notification bell so you can get notified once I upload any video. So that'll be all for my end. Thank you so much, and bye.